This is just going to be a short video today. You remember from that last video when I did all that work and replaced those inner PTO seals down in the housing down there, and that was a success, but we had a leak coming out the union between the tractor and the greater PTO lower unit there. And I've been putting this repair off just because it's a tremendous amount of work to get to this point. So I'm not going to film this whole repair for you. I'm just going to hit on a couple of the highlights and show you what I found, and then hopefully at the end of the video I will confirm that I have fixed this problem. So I just lowered the PTO unit here, and look what I found. I haven't touched anything. I got the camera and came back, and I found not only was our seal leaking, but it was completely broken in half. So I'm not quite sure how I did that, but clearly that was my fault. I must have pinched it somehow, but that's why it was leaking. I guess I'm glad I found this in a way, because I know definitively where the leak was coming from, and now that I've got everything apart, it should be a relatively easy fix. I just got to get the new seal back on there and get it onto the tractor without pinching it. So I don't think I'm going to have to get this whole unit into my shop and up on the bench again, because we don't need to get inside it. We don't have to take off this front plate either. We just have to put a new O-ring on it. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll check back in with you in a few minutes when I made some progress. Well, about an hour and a half later, got the job done, got all my tools put away. Just about ready to take a break, but I wanted to show you how it looks here. I know you're not going to be able to see this on camera, but I can see the seal all the way around. If I use the flashlight and look in there real close, I can see it, 360 degrees of it. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I am 100% confident this time. I hate to make predictions like that, but you know, when I was putting the thing back in, I was keenly aware of the position of the O-ring at all times. There was a lot of walking around the tractor to check that side and then come back to check this side, look underneath, look on top. And I tell you what, it is not easy to get this unit in through the O-ring without disturbing it, and then having these holes line up so you can actually bolt it to the tractor. So as far as this job goes, I am 1 for 1 at this point, 1 failure and hopefully 1 success. We'll let this sit overnight and then come out and put oil in the tractor, but we've got a couple other things to do first. Still have to put the entire rear PTO assembly back on, and also the side PTO lever engage plate there. And of course I have to make all new gaskets, because I made those from scratch to begin with, so I have to make them all again. So I'm going to go inside, get something cold to drink, finish the rest of the stuff up after lunch, and I'll see you guys in the morning. We'll put some oil in this beast and hopefully she won't leak. And here we are the next morning already. It's going to be 101 degrees today, so I'm starting out early. I've already got the tractor filled up with oil. That in itself is kind of a big job, because we're talking about 15 gallons, or about 15 anyway. I put about 10 in the back and 4.5 or 5 in the transmission side. So the oil has been in there for 30 minutes or so. And let's get a look up under here. Absolutely dry so far, which is really good news, because last time it was already leaking by this point. Let's go take a look at the PTO back here. I don't expect anything to be leaking out of this when it's just sitting still, but you never know. There is oil in there. It's all dry there, all dry. So everything looks good so far. So now I want to start it up, drive it around the property a little bit, get things turned up, and also make sure the PTO engage and disengage still works. And then we'll come back and check the O-ring one more time. All right, let's get under here and look at the oil seal. Well, on this side, it is completely dry. And on the right side of the tractor, it is completely dry as well. All the way around from top to bottom, 360 degrees. And no leaks from the back PTO back there either. So all the gaskets I made are doing the job with the sealant. I used Permatex high heat copper this time. No leaks anywhere. In that previous video, we put a new fuel pump on there. I fabricated my own fuel lines for it and everything else. And this is also 100% dry. Very happy with that. So for the first time since I've owned the tractor, it is now operational again. I can actually use it if I want to while we're fixing other things. You know, prior to this, things just weren't working right. The ignition system was a disaster. The fuel system wasn't working. And then there's some other little things I did as well. It needed all new radiator hoses, needed a new fan belt, new battery cables, new battery. And of course, the huge job that I've done so far is I replaced the 2 lower PTO oil seals. And I was successful with that job, but then we had that snafu with the O-ring that set me back another month. If you missed the previous videos on this tractor, I haven't owned it all that long, maybe 3 or 4 months. So we're just scratching the surface now. There's still a ton of other stuff that needs to be addressed. The plan for this one is to restore it all the way. I'm talking about paint and everything. We're going to make it look shiny and pretty and original. So if you aren't subscribed yet, please consider doing that. If you want to see more videos on this tractor in the future, check out antiquecarsandstuff.com. That's one of the ways I help fund the channel. And I hope to see you guys on the next video. In the meantime, I think I'm going to take this for another rip around the property.